symbol of heart, symbol of love, everyone knows. Not necessarily everyone understands. It looks like this. One center, one point, two lines are set. That's the first part. The second part is two lines curve again to one point. That's the very principle of creation. And everything in creation, including from an atom, the universe, our relationships, everything, is based on this principle. One becoming two and two becoming one. That's the very ABC of creation. Expansion, contraction. So everything is controlled by the duality, and to maintain ourselves by the duality, for example, on the air level, we had to breathe. Exhale, inhale. We eat, we defecate, we drink, we urinate. We contract, we expand, so we can move. And we are creation in the human form. So this very principle of creation, expansion, contraction, I call this the ABC of creation, we can make a story. So by this ABC, begin with expansion. Now we can make a conversation, have an experience. So by expansion, contraction, by the interconnection between the inner and the outer, inner creation, outer creation, we are creation in the human form. We have a dialogue, we have a story to tell, a lesson to be learned. So we have come to this planet to create a lesson. And not just for us, it's all of creation, all of the universe to be shared with. So we came here in this very extreme three-dimensional density to learn something. And what we wanted to learn is to find out how we can come to the very center where we came from. We come from the center and we come back to the center. But when we come back, it's by consciousness. Now what happened is, as we enter this duality and we come to the very extreme where we are right now, we forget that we are one. So we cannot come back to the oneness. What we create then is, by this forgetfulness, this extreme, we create an interaction but also conflict. And it has come to the very extreme because of lack of memory. This memory here that connects us with the origin, and we have to come back to the origin, but when we come back, it is by consciousness. So the reason why we created the duality or entered the duality is to become conscious that we are one. So that is a trinity, the two and the one. But when we forget, we lose the unifying center, so we end up only with the duality, and without the center we create conflict. That's what we have now. Even to the point that we become so ignorant that we are willing to maintain the duality in a conflicted way. I'm right, you wrong, I'm good, you're bad, and so on. That we're willing to destroy each other because both sides, they claim they are the right one. Even to the point that we want to blow up the whole world, we don't care. We have atom bombs, we can do it. So it's only by the practical wisdom that we can, but also it has to be a biological reality because we are creation in the human form, so there has to be a biological reality that by the body to remember that all is one, and we can center that find that center within us, so we can unify the two, and we create again the Trinity, but in the unifying way. Here's the Trinity in the dispersing way. So we have two types of Trinity. Trinity that can destroy, and Trinity that can create. So we went through the first stage, and we're coming now to the conclusion. Now we have to unify the opposites. So by this Trinity, we can unify the opposites, and that's why this curve is there. It's not complete, but we complete the curve and we get this infinity pattern. Now this very principle is most profoundly integrated in our body, and I'll explain that part. So here we have creation. It's like a circle, right? It begins with the origin. Some people call it heaven, and we descend and come to the opposite, and that is what the earth is. The earth is the extreme three-dimensional density. It's a condensation, materialization, they call it. And here we have an experience. Here we have to know how to unify. Here we have to establish heaven on earth. And it also has a center. And that nucleus is within us. It's carried by blood. That contains the memory. But then, after the experience, and then we can remember, we can come back. So this interaction between heaven and earth, but also the interaction between the descent and the ascent, is integrated in the body in the form of the pattern of our blood circulation. That's why our blood circulates like this. We have the horizontal interaction, and it changes into the vertical. The vertical interaction creates the horizontal. It's like this. Right? That means we have not come fully to the center. And what we have to accomplish is to come back to the center, but then when we come back, we realize, right, that who we are, that is the observer. And that also correlates with the absolute and eternal constant, which is the law of creation. And that law is change. By that unchanging, by that center point zero that we all have within our body, we can change. But when we forget and don't know how to use that law in a normal daily, practical daily life, we create our own laws. And so those laws go against change, go against creation, go anti-creation. And that's what we have today. We create more laws. Every day we create another law, to fix humanity, not to change. What people think change today is not change, it's replacement, like organ replacement, or replace one leader with another one. But it's not change, right? It's exchange, including money. So this order, this Trinity is integrated in our body, and so heaven and earth are within us. And so earth is integrated, biologically integrated, by where we begin in mother's womb. That is a small intestine where the food changes into blood. And that relationship between the earth and the inner earth is maintained with food. That's why we eat. That's food. See? It's a link with the earth. And so our mouth here, that's a borderline between outer creation and inner creation. And then the memory that the food carries, this is memory, is a link. That memory continues it's released in the blood, and we can remember. So that is the creation of consciousness, and that's why we have a digestive system. Right? The descent relates with from heaven to earth, and we have a nervous system from earth to heaven. So from here we continue, and we also incorporate the center. That's the interaction between heaven and earth, and that is the heart. So the heart is a center that unifies earth and heaven, and together the heart pulsates. So that's why the heart pulsates by this interaction between earth and heaven. So we have this trinity, entire creation, but also the holy earth functions, is within us. But now, all of this is played out in a very dramatic and mysterious way. And what's happening today in America, and there's one person, Trump, is not president. Trump has been destined to dramatize this, to help humanity become conscious of this entire process, the experience. That's the problem, not the conclusion. So the way I can explain this is like this. When we play together cards, right, we have a card deck, and there's only one card, is the highest card. That card can play all the cards, and that is the Joker. The Joker is only one. But the highest card is also within us. But people don't realize it, and they look for a leader. A perfect leader that can lead them, but that only leader, the real leader, that is within us, that's the Creator. And when we connect with that Creator within us, we can say, I am. Right? That means I am this, I am that, I'm traditional, you are German, you are Japanese, you are Chinese, you are Russian, no. Or Muslim or Christianity. I am, that means you are who you are. I am that I am. And that's the highest card. Now all the other cards are played out by the people. They have the drama. They are important to make not the game only interesting, but also by the interactions and the actions. We can have an experience and have a lesson. We learn something about it. But now the conclusion of the game, and everyone is looking for the highest card outside of them. So what Trump has done, as how it appears, is the Joker, right, is now a part is taken off, you see, it's not complete, and that has been given to the people. And so what it means is everyone can be the Joker. Everyone has a part of the highest within themselves. But Trump is the major part. He has the major attention, showing the people, hey, you don't like what I'm doing? How about you? Find a leader within yourself. And he's doing fairly well. He's a supreme mirror. He's a mirror. Everything you like or don't like, what you see in somebody else, that is yourself. Who else? Who else do you see in the mirror but yourself? And Trump is the mirror, very major mirror. So let's see how it all will come out. Of course, when nobody wakes up, nobody wants to see, no one wants to do a self-examination, then that's a big problem. And you create massive destruction. But when enough people wake up, then there's a good chance that the plan that brought us to the planet will be realized. And the plan, most people don't even understand the plan, or don't even know what the plan is all about. We came to this earth with a plan to make this earth a portal of peace. And for that, see, a portal, for a portal, you need two sides. You cannot create portal with one side. And the extreme sides of this portal are creation and anti-creation. That's what we have today. We succeed together, we, not only one person, many like us, different civilizations. We managed to create anti-creation at this time, space and time. So now the two sides have to be unified. And the only way to unify it is by the Trinity. And so this Trinity is Venenos, the earth, and heaven, and the center of the heart. And how do you connect this? You need a total memory. You need the food that has a total memory so that the blood can interconnect and unify the opposites within yourself. That's peace. That's justice. That's freedom. That is total health. But today, all of this is measured by the deductive mindset. You don't think from inside to the outside, but from the outside to the inside. Everything is measured by the symptom. Symptoms are used to excite the people, and then we create causes and say, oh, there's a remedy for this, a remedy for that, there's a law for this, a law for that. But then there's a third, is the origin, and nobody talks about it. So if you want to come back to the origin, we have to understand how to use the law of the Creator, the one law, how to change the conditional, that's by the duality, into the unconditional. And that's today. That's our job. Have a nice day.